Hey guys, Jeremy here, Marlon from Discord. I wanted to give you a demo of a couple of things we've been working on with Imaginary Ones, and just talk to you about some of the background stuff that's going on behind the scenes. It may not be of interest to everyone, probably won't, but those who are more sort of technically minded or inquisitive, this might be of interest to you. So I'm going to eventually give you a demo, but first of all, I'll give a bit of an intro and a couple of disclaimers. I'll talk to you about the ecosystem of what we're building. It helps if you, before seeing a product, if you understand, why we're building this product, where does it fit within the ecosystem of what we're doing, and then I'll give some technical info about how the stuff works, and then finally give you a bit of a demo. So just quick intro then. Yeah, Marlon from Discord. I work on the mainly the security side, security and development. I develop security products, tools, techniques, mainly around sort of hacking, botting, this type of stuff. And then try and use that knowledge to do the opposite. So anti-botting measures, protecting the services and things. I tend to, well, I'm going to start releasing some things on Twitter, but it's going to be the slightly more grey area stuff. So I'm going to start releasing things like mint bots, metadata sniping bots, reveal bots, things like that, and I'll be doing some sort of videos as to how you create these things. But because that stuff is slightly more grey area, whether it makes its way into the Imaginary Ones brand or not will depend on how much value the tools add to stakeholders. But that's what I'll do. So if anyone wants to follow on Twitter, feel free. I've just started it up with my massive 174 followers. But yeah, the official stuff will obviously come out through the Imaginary Ones brand. Okay, so let's get on to the ecosystem of tools. Just for information, I'm not a PR or marketing guy. I will say things that I'm probably not meant to mention. I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff. If things don't work, I'm just going to say they don't work. I'm technical, so I just say things how they are. So all right, let's just draw out the ecosystem here. So as you know, we've got the original. My drawing's terrible, by the way. Just don't worry about it. It is what it is. So we have the original Mint site, which most of you probably know about. You probably minted your IO from it. And then we also have the website, which is the IO website with the really great music and the PFP tool and that sort of stuff. And so now what we're going to have as well is the staking site. I don't really like the term staking, but it's where you're going to go to send your IOs off on quests, claim rewards. We're going to do the gamification stuff there. So, it's going to be your sort of dashboard for holders. For now, I'm just going to call it the staking site. The interesting bit really comes in though over here, because what we're talking about now is tools, products and services. So these are going to be new things we're creating that are going to generate value, and people are obviously going to pay for that value as well. I'll come on to more about that in a moment. You'll see why that's really important. So sitting behind all of this is an API, which is an application programming interface, and it's essentially a way that we can take all of the data and information that we have and provide it out to people in a reliable and consistent way so that everyone can access it. That means they don't have to, if these are partners or collaborators, community driven projects, they don't have to go and scrape our website for things. They don't have to go and look at the blockchain using all sorts of libraries. They can just hit our API through HTTP calls and get the information they want. So this gives out things like, if you go to /assets, you can find information on the IOs, rewards, all sorts of things provided out through the API. Sitting behind the API, we have a number of databases. So some things are centralized, some things are decentralized. The smart contracts obviously being decentralized, but there are some things that we have to centralize, either for performance or reliability reasons or whatever they may be. Um, so in terms of then the contracts, the other bits of this system, so we have the original IO contract. That's the smart contract that you would have either minted from or purchased from. We have a staking contract. So this is where the IOs go into, where they're sort of held in whatever you want to call it, where they generate their rewards. And hopefully, connected down here somewhere, you've got a hardware wallet, which is where you'll be holding your IOs in a wallet. And what's going to happen going forward is the IOs, when you stake them, they'll come out of your wallet and they'll go into the staking contract. So you'll put them in here, and then obviously the rewards come back from there. So right, let me just talk a bit about this area, tools, products, and services. So I'm going to be really honest, right? People minted IOs, and that costs money to do, and that money goes to the team, goes into a community pool. And that money we want to use for things to build products, tools, and services. And there are royalties as well that come from, the marketplaces like OpenSea. Now, I see this happen with projects all the time, and it's a big disagreement is that we want to provide rewards back to holders, right? But what we don't want to do is just give you back your own money. So you mint an NFT or you pay some royalties, and then you just get that money drip fed back to you as yield or whatever it is over a period of time. That doesn't work. What we want to do is use the money to build tools, products, services. These tools and products can then go out, be used by other people. So whether this is partners, collaborators, community projects, whoever, that generates value, right? So we generate value with the things that we build. That comes back then as revenue. So if you think in terms of almost a traditional company, as an IO holder, you're effectively a shareholder, right? And you're going to expect the value of your share to go up over time. So you're going to expect the value of your IO to go up over time, especially as we get back into a bull market. But in addition to that, just like a normal company shareholder, you'd expect some kind of dividend as well. And in terms of what we're talking about here, this is some kind of yield or reward or something coming back to you. And that's why it's so important that we're able to generate revenue. We have to have external revenue coming into the project, not just the funds that you've already given. And that's why there's going to be so much focus around those tools. So the bit I'm going to demo today is a couple of utilities that are sort of internal and are a core part of what we need going forward. So the first one is an ownership tracker. So this tracks who owns an NFT, so an IO, who owns it, where is it? Is it in the staking contract, the smart contract? Because that allows us to do things like look at, well, how long has it been staked for? So how long has an IO been off on a quest? What should the rewards be? And all sorts of things. So ownership tracking is a pretty sort of key internal tool. And then what I'm going to demo out is something that uses that data, which is an IO holder bot. So man, I'm so bad at using Microsoft Whiteboard. I'm going to have to find a different tool. This is the first time I've used it, and I'm already falling out of it. All right, so this is going to be a Discord bot for role holders. So at the moment in Discord, we move that box. We assign roles. So you have a holder role at the moment, like holder 5, holder 10. Okay, let me give you a demo here. So let's talk more demo. Let me show you what we've got set up here though. So on the right hand side is Discord in a web page. So you can see there's a Marlon Test 1 account that currently this is a test copy of the Imaginary One's Discord server that we use for beta testing. And you can see that there's no roles for this person at the moment, no holder roles. On the left, I've got a few pages up. So the first is OpenSea, just because this is the OpenSea profile and you can see your NFTs here. It's pretty straightforward. I've got a purchase page on OpenSea loaded up because I'm going to buy an NFT. There's a landing page, which is what we're going to use to connect our wallet and Discord, which is how we do verification. And then I've got the staking contract loaded up. The landing page and the staking contract, these are obviously not things that you're going to have to see as a holder eventually. These will be replaced with a really nice looking, front end. I'm sure you remember how the original website looks. It's pretty good. They do a good job of doing a nice website. So connections to wallets and Discord will all be through a really nice looking front end, and again staking will as well. That will be through a nice front end. So all right, let me do a demo here. At the moment, Mile Test 1 has no IOs, so no surprise, no holder roles in Discord. If this account goes onto OpenSea and buys an IO, and by the way, the contract that I'm using, the collection is just called IO Beta Test Main 1. I probably should have used a better name, but and I didn't bother uploading any of the data to IPFS for the metadata, which is why it's got no image. But just think of it as a just as a standard NFT. So I'm going to buy that now on OpenSea, and of course, first of all, nothing is going to change on Discord because we kind of respect that people might want to remain anonymous. Not everyone wants to be on Discord with a holder role. So if you just want to own IOs as effectively an investor, that's absolutely fine. So this account now owns that IO. But let's say they do want to get the holder role. What they can do is come onto the site, they connect their wallet, they authorize Discord. Whenever you're presented with any page like this, please check the permissions. They should only be very, very minimal. So we can authorize Discord. So we should be able to see now. So they hold one IO in their wallet, and pretty much straight away you can see because of that they've been granted the holder role in Discord, and they've got access to the holders chat with a bunch of test stuff going on. So if we then go and let me go back and buy a bundle. So that's the holder role, which is just sort of if you've got one IO. Let's go and let's buy a bundle here. So we'll buy a bundle of 5. So this will now give us 6 in total. And so what we should see is it goes up, no surprises, get bumped up straight away to the holder 5 role. Just going to check this works, and I'm going to talk about what's actually happening behind the scenes, and why it takes the amount of time that it currently takes. In fact, let me bring up my whiteboard to start explaining that while it does its thing. Right, so you can see the purchase is done. This person now has the holder 5 role because if I refresh this, they should have, 6 IOs or 6 NFTs. Exactly the same holder 10 role, no surprise. If I buy another 4, they get the holder 10 role. Just a bit of background info on why it takes the amount of time it takes. Currently, the system we have, I won't name the provider, but I'm sure you know who it is. It's a third-party bot, and sometimes it can take up to an hour before the roles change in Discord, which is pretty rubbish. Right now, that doesn't affect us too much because we don't really use those roles for much, but you can imagine going forward, if your ability to claim rewards, access whitelists and giveaways and all things like that is based partly upon your holder roles or your staker roles, then you need real time. The roles need to be aligned real time to the ownership, and that's why we've had to build our own ownership tracker. Just to say why it takes the amount of time it takes, it's about 12 to 14 seconds it takes for the roles to change, and that's because a user over here has their wallet, right, and they go and they buy an IO on OpenSea. What actually happens is the transaction from let me just move up here. So they go to OpenSea, they purchase their NFT, and obviously that's going to appear in their wallet. But what first happens is that transaction TX that goes along to the mempool. The mempool, or pending transactions pool, or the mempool, And what that is, that's where transactions go before they get picked up. So what you'll have is there's a load of miners, Ethereum miners, who sit on the sidelines and they watch the mempool. And what they do is these guys here, they decide which transactions, or purchases, sales, transfers, they decide which of those get put into the next block on the blockchain. And they do that by taking them from the mempool. Each of these transactions, like yours, has a fee associated with it, and naturally they're going to choose the highest fee transactions. The transactions that they choose then come from the mempool, and they get put onto the blockchain. Now, the thing is, we could take the information from the pending transactions or from the mempool, which would mean that on OpenSea, so let's say I go to buy another NFT, so I would click buy now. If we were to do the ownership tracking from the pending pool, the very millisecond I click confirm here, the holder role would change. The problem with that is that pending transactions can be reverted, and there's all sorts of bad stuff that can happen. So we have to wait for the transaction to be confirmed on the blockchain so we know it's real, and then your role can change. But the amount of time that takes is about 12 to 14 seconds on Ethereum, which is why there's a 12 to 14-second delay between the moment you click confirm on MetaMask and you actually getting the holder role. I told you that I'd probably go off on tangents, but that's just a bit of background info. Right, let me just reject that transaction. So let me now show you the staking holder role. So we're not just tracking the ownership of holders and changing roles, we're doing it for staking as well. Now I'm going to use the contract directly on Etherscan to do the staking, just because I don't have the new front end loaded up yet. So let me choose a token. I need to choose an IO to stake. Let's go with number 3. Doesn't matter. Right, so I'm going to now stake a token, stake an NFT, and again you confirm it through MetaMask. So what should happen here is pretty much straight away this holder role gets changed to a staker role. So just like there's holder, so that's changed straight away. So like there's holder 5, staker, no, holder 5, holder 10. There's staker 5, staker 10. So different roles. There'll probably be more in the future. So you can see this this user here, this test user, has still got their holder role and their holder 5+ role, but they're now also got the staker role as well. The exact priority order of these, not quite sure about yet, but we're tracking them. If at any point a user goes, right, I don't want to be on Discord, I don't want to be associated, but I want to keep my my IOs, you can just click unlink Discord, and pretty much straight away that will disappear. Link Discord and authorize it, and your roles appear back pretty much immediately. So you as a holder are in control of if you have roles or not. That's up to you, but it's all pretty much instant. Okay, was there any other bits that I wanted to talk about? If you've got questions on any of this stuff, let me know. I'm happy to jump on like just VCs or AMAs, whatever, and just go through the technical details of how all this stuff works on the back end. Also, we've had kind of a few requests for next videos. Obviously, I want to keep demoing out the IO stuff mainly as to our progress. But there's a few other bits that I think we could add for holders as well. These topics here, if anything interests you, these are topics that I've presented out on before. So how to hack smart contracts, equally how to write a smart contract that you don't get hacked. I think hopefully, as most of you saw with the imaginary ones mint, that was pretty smooth. I think out of 8,888, we had about 100 were botted, which is pretty good. No hacks, no exploits, certainly none that we know about anyway. So that was pretty good contract there. Doing live demos of things like sniping NFTs by getting the IPFS metadata early. I create these bots and try and give out this information so that future NFT projects don't get sniped, because it's so easy to do by finding things like IPFS metadata, and it's also so easy to defend against. But people take like templated contracts from YouTube, and I'm trying to protect NFT projects, trying to make them better, more robust. But yeah, any of this type of stuff, any of these topics, if you want to see anything, just let me know. Right, cheers, guys. I'll see you on Discord. Bye bye.